I was still too young to hear or see the train heading for me. I said, oh, yes, Mr. Rowan.
On April 7, 1962, Shelley Fabares stood at the zenith of fame. Her song, Johnny Angel, topping the Billboard Hot 100. Its wistful chords weaving dreams for millions of American teens. By April 10, 1999, that same star lay crumpled on the cold tile floor of her Sherman Oaks kitchen at 4321 Laurel Canyon Boulevard, blood pooling beneath her frail 90-pound frame. Her life ebbing as her liver succumbed to a silent, relentless disease. From the radiant stages of Hollywood to the precipice of death on a transplant waiting list, Shelley's Odyssey is a testament to an indomitable spirit. A saga of a woman who battled poverty, illness, and the crushing weight of fame, emerging with a resilience that shines like a beacon through life's darkest storms. Shelley Fabares was born at 3:17 a.m. on January 19, 1944, in room 204 of St. John's Hospital in Santa Monica, California, as air raid sirens wailed faintly. A reminder of World War II's grip on the world. Her mother, Elsa May Fabares, 28, a former chorus girl who danced in the 1935 revue Starlight Follies at the Orpheum Theater, saw her newborn daughter as a vessel for her unfulfilled Hollywood dreams. Her father, James Allen Fabares, 32, a real estate broker with a silver tongue, was often absent, chasing wartime contracts at the port of San Pedro to keep their family afloat. They lived in a 780-square-foot bungalow at 1427 Ocean Avenue, its sagging porch littered with chipped paint, its single bathroom reeking of mildew. Elsa pinned faded posters of Jean Harlow and Carol Lombard to the walls, whispering to Shelley as she rocked her, "You'll light up those screens, my darling." Elsa's ambition was a fire that burned through their poverty. On July 12, 1946, at 2½, Shelley wandered onto the set of the Barclays of Broadway at MGM's Stage 15 in Culver City, where Elsa worked as an extra for $150 a day. Clutching a tattered rag doll named Betsy, its left eye missing, Shelley twirled in imitation of Ginger Rogers, her blonde curls bouncing under the glare of Klieg lights. A grip named Tommy O'Malley nicknamed her Little Star, tossing her a peppermint candy. Elsa seized the moment, enrolling Shelley in Miss Lila's tap and tumble classes at the Santa Monica Community Center on September 10, 1946, paying 50 cents per lesson from her 2-a-day wages as a seamstress for RKO Pictures. By age 3, on February 3, 1947, Shelley could tap out a shaky time step, her tiny feet clicking on the warped linoleum of their living room, her giggles mingling with the creak of a neighbor's radio playing Zip-a-dee-doo-dah. On March 15, 1947, when Shelley was 3, her parents' marriage imploded in their cramped kitchen. James stormed out after Elsa found a lipstick-stained letter from his secretary, Dolores Martinez, in his coat pocket. The divorce, finalized on April 1947, at the Los Angeles County Courthouse, left Elsa with custody and $50 a month, roughly $700 in 2025 dollars. The family moved through 7 apartments by 1952, a roach-infested flat at 1623 North Cahuenga Boulevard, 1947-48, a drafty unit at 1842 Yucca Street, a mildew-stained studio at 2110 Vine Street, and others, each smaller and shabbier than the last. Shelley and Smokey shared a lumpy mattress, its springs poking through, their dinners often a single can of Campbell's tomato soup, diluted with tap water and served in chipped enamel bowls. Shelley wore hand-me-down dresses, their hems frayed from Smokey's use, and shoes patched with cardboard, the soles flapping on rainy days. Elsa worked 12-hour shifts at Mel's Diner on Sunset Boulevard, her apron stained with ketchup, and sewed costumes for RKO, her fingers bleeding from needle pricks as she stitched sequins late into the night. Her eyes fixed on Shelley's future. On June 15, 1954, at 10, Shelley received an early dose of the Salk polio vaccine at the Santa Monica Health Clinic at 1450 Ocean Avenue, part of a trial during an epidemic that paralyzed 35,000 Americans. Elsa, who had nearly lost Shelley during a 1943 pregnancy plagued by malnutrition and stress from James's absence with the Merchant Marines, clutched her hand, tears streaming as the needle pierced Shelley's arm. "You're my miracle, meant for greatness," she whispered, her voice breaking. Shelley's childhood was a crucible of survival. By 1955, James had vanished to a San Diego suburb at 4567 El Cajon Boulevard, starting a new family with Dolores and leaving Shelley with a hollow ache. On summer evenings, she knelt on their fire escape at 1842 Yucca Street, scanning for his green 1949 Packard, her heart sinking as stars appeared. At 4, on November 12, 1948, Shelley began modeling for Sears at a Culver City studio at 9536 Washington Boulevard, earning $5 a shoot. By age 6, she'd completed 15 jobs, 3 dresses, 4 coats, 8 pajama sets, her $75 total buying milk, eggs, and a used wool blanket for Smokey. On August 3, 1950, photographer Carl Hensley demanded she pose past 11:30 p.m., her eyelids drooping as she stood in a scratchy tulle skirt. Elsa stormed in, shouting, "She's 5, not a factory worker," and yanked Shelley from the set, her hand trembling with protective fury. On February 10, 1951, eviction loomed at their North Hollywood apartment at 5221 Lancashire Boulevard, the landlord's fist pounding the door until Nanette wired $200 from a Chicago tour of Bloomer Girl, a debt Elsa repaid with a vow scrawled on a diner napkin: "Shelley will be a star." School was a battlefield. At Grant Elementary, 1234 North Formosa Avenue, from September 7, 1949 to June 10, 1955, Shelley faced relentless bullying over a slight lisp from a September 5, 1948, fall that chipped her left front tooth on a cracked sidewalk near their Cahuenga apartment. Classmates jeered Stutter Shelley during kickball games, their laughter slicing her confidence. On May 3, 1952, a bully named Tommy Reynolds shoved her into a concrete wall by the school's flagpole, fracturing her left forearm. The plaster cast itched for 6 weeks, forcing her to write with her right hand, her letters wobbly. The isolation burned deeper, her classmates whispering about her broken family. Divorce was a scandal in the 1950s. Drama classes at the Hollywood YMCA, starting January 7, 1953, at 1040 North Las Palmas Avenue, became her refuge. She memorized Emily Webb's monologue from Our Town, her voice trembling but clear in a dimly lit basement, the smell of dust and old props grounding her. On July 7, 1952, 8-year-old Shelley found Elsa unconscious in their Vine Street bathroom, an empty bottle of Nembutal pills scattered across cracked green tiles, the faucet dripping. Nanette rushed in, bundling Shelley and Smokey to a neighbor's at 2112 Vine Street, while paramedics revived Elsa. "Never speak of this," Nanette whispered, her eyes pleading, a secret Shelley carried like a lead weight. By 1988, Elsa's Alzheimer's diagnosis brought new devastation. On March 10, 1990, Shelley placed her mother in the Reseda Valley Care Facility at 18700 Sherman Way, her heart splintering as Elsa stared blankly, muttering, "Who's that girl in the blue dress?" During a visit on March 12th, Shelley's acting career ignited on June 5, 1954, with a role as Marie Schumann in The Loretta Young Show, episode 214, The Girl Who Knew, filmed at NBC's Burbank Studios, Stage 2. At 10, her one-take crying scene, tears streaming as she pleaded for her character's father to stay, stunned the crew. Loretta Young gifted her a pearl necklace with a tiny gold clasp, which Shelley wore to every audition, rubbing it for luck. Despite 25 rejections, directors called her too plain, too nervous, or too short at 4:10. She felt alive under the Klieg lights, the hum of cameras soothing her nerves. Child labor laws capped her at 4 hours, but producers often stretched her to 9, her legs trembling as she memorized lines in a canvas chair. The smell of stale coffee lingering. On January 15, 1958, at 14, Shelley landed the role of Moselle Corey in Disney's Annette. Episode 103, Annette's First Crush, filmed at Walt Disney Studios. Stage 4. The show drew 10 million viewers weekly, making Shelley a teen idol. On March 12, 1958, she accidentally slapped Annette Funicello during a heated scene, earning a $50 fine, but a friendship sealed over chocolate malts at Schwab's Pharmacy on April 3rd. The 16-hour days and 3-hour tutoring sessions at Immaculate Heart High School, 5515 Franklin Avenue, left her drained, her eyes burning from script reading. Her 130 IQ, tested on May 5, 1956, at the Los Angeles Board of Education, was squandered on studio teachers who skipped literature for basic math. In 1957, she missed 49 school days, graduating with C's on June 10, 1962, from University School, a studio program at 10823 North Gordon Street. Over 130 rejections piled up by 1958, including a November 14, 1956, loss for the bad seed because she was too tall at 5'4". On April 12, 1957, a director's lewd remark, "Lose a few pounds, sweetheart," was silenced by Nanette's fierce intervention, her voice sharp as she escorted Shelley off the set. But it left Shelley clutching her script like a shield. Her trust in adults fractured. On September 22, 1958, Shelley joined The Donna Reed Show as Mary Stone, filming 163 episodes through May 8, 1963, at Screen Gems' Stage 7, 4224 Radford Avenue. With 20 million weekly viewers, she became America's ideal daughter, her smile masking a shy teenager who longed for sleepovers and Friday night dances. On October 14, 1959, episode 2/4, A Friend in Need, sparked outrage when Mary babysat a troubled child, prompting 500 parents to write to ABC, decrying a perceived hint of teenage pregnancy. On October 20th, protesters rallied outside Screen Gems, chanting, "Protect our kids!" with hand-painted signs. Shelley, 16, read hate mail in her dressing room, her stomach knotting as she saw "Shame on you" scrawled in red ink. Her bond with co-star Paul Peterson grew through 2 a.m. study sessions, quizzing each other on geometry in their trailer, a bare bulb flickering overhead. On July 15, 1960, a producer's tirade over a broken $30 lamp, "You kids cost me a fortune," left them trembling, a reminder of the set's relentless pressure. On February 15, 1962, Shelley recorded Johnny Angel at United Western Recorders, Studio A, 6000 Sunset Boulevard, backed by Glenn Campbell's twangy guitar and Carol Kay's pulsing bass. Released March 1, it hit #1 on April 7, selling 1.2 million copies. Shelley, who confessed to Elsa in their kitchen, "I can't carry a tune, Mama," was stunned, her hands shaking as she read Billboard's chart, lip-syncing it on a March 20, 1962, episode of The Donna Reed Show. Filmed on Stage 7, sent fans into a frenzy, 2,000 letters flooding ABC's offices. Her follow-up, Johnny Loves Me, recorded April 10th and released June 10th, reached number 21. Her album, Shelley, recorded over 3 grueling sessions from April 15th to 17, 1962, featured jazzy covers like It's Been a Long, Long Time, and a duet with Peterson, Very Unlikely, recorded at 1 a.m. on April 16th. Colpix staged a fake romance with Fabian Fort. Scripting dates at Musso and Frank's Grill on May 5th and 12th. 1962, complete with staged hand-holding for Photoplay's June issue. Shelley felt like a puppet, her teenage heart bruised by headlines like Shelley and Fabian, Love at First Sight. On August 4th, 1963, a Hollywood Bowl concert turned chaotic as 5,000 fans stormed the stage, tearing her $200 sequined dress. Security carried her to a green room, her heart pounding as she hid behind a velvet curtain. Retiring from music that night, from January 20th to March 15th, 1964, Shelley filmed Ride the Wild Surf in Oahu, Hawaii, at Hanauma Bay. On February 10th, a malfunctioning wave tank sent a 10-foot surge over her, nearly drowning her as her blonde dyed hair tangled in her face, the salt water stinging her eyes. From April 1965 to November 1967, she starred with Elvis Presley in Girl Happy, Spin Out, and Clambake. Rumors of a romance swirled, despite her marriage to Lou Adler on June 9, 1964, at the Beverly Hills Hotel's Crystal Room, where she wore a lace gown with a 10-foot train. On May 12, 1965, Elvis gifted her a dog-eared copy of An Actor Prepares, inscribed, "Keep Shining, Kid, Elvis," during a break in Girl Happy's beach scene. In Hold On, a costume rip on September 2nd during a dance scene, a pink miniskirt splitting at the seam, sparked cruel body shaming in a September 15, 1966, issue of Confidential, deepening her insecurities. She began skipping lunches, her weight dropping to 105 pounds. Her 1968 role in A Time to Sing, filmed January 10th, March 20th at Warner Brothers. Stage 10 demanded raw emotion, triggering anxiety attacks. On March 15th, she hyperventilated during a scene, collapsing into a prop chair. She began therapy on April 5, 1968, with Dr. Helen Weiss at 433 North Camden Drive, journaling about her fear of losing myself to Hollywood's machine through June 30th. Her marriage to Adler frayed under rumors of his affairs with singers like Michelle Phillips and Joni Mitchell, ending in divorce on December 15, 1980, at the Los Angeles County Courthouse, room 3-12. On June 9, 1984, she married Mike Farrell at All Saints Episcopal Church in Pasadena, wearing a cream silk dress, his steady hand her lifeline. On April 3, 1994, Shelley fell through the floor of their under-construction Sherman Oaks home at 4321 Laurel Canyon Boulevard, shattering 6 ribs and fracturing her left clavicle. Tests at Cedars-Sinai on April 4th revealed liver enzymes at 1/200 UL, 10 times normal. Her doctor, John Veerling, warning of serious underlying issues. On April 10, 1999, autoimmune hepatitis caused a catastrophic esophageal bleed, leaving her unconscious in her kitchen, blood soaking the white tiles, a spilled glass of orange juice mingling with the crimson. At 55, weighing 90 pounds, she joined the transplant waiting list at Cedars-Sinai, enduring 22 months of exhaustion and dread. False pager alerts, wrong numbers at 3:15 a.m. on June 5th and 4:22 a.m. on August 12, 2000, sent her heart racing, only to crash in despair. On October 23, 2000, at 6:47 a.m., a liver transplant saved her, but infections and rejection risks required 3 surgeries through November 15th. Mike spoon-fed her vegetable broth, guided her trembling steps down hospital corridors, and sat vigil through 10-hour procedures, whispering, "You're stronger than this, Shell." From September 19, 1989 to May 14, 1997, Shelley starred as Christine Armstrong on Coach, filming 200 episodes at Universal Studios Stage 25. Her November 17, 1993, episode Be a Good Sport, about infertility, mirrored her childless life, leaving her sobbing in her dressing room, her hands shaking as she clutched a script, the ink smudging from tears. She earned Emmy nominations in 1993 and 1994, losing to Roseanne Barr and Laurie Metcalf. Voice acting as Martha Kent in Superman, the animated series, and Superman. brainiac attacks sustained her during health struggles, recording lines in a Burbank sound booth while tethered to an IV. Her voice steady despite her frail 95-pound frame. She retired from acting on June 20, 2006, at 62. Her final session at 3 p.m. in Studio City's Sound City Studios, her voice cracking as she bid farewell to Martha Kent. Tears falling on the script. Elsa's death on April 5, 1992. From Alzheimer's fueled Shelley's role as the Alzheimer's Association's national spokesperson. She testified before Congress on May 10, 1988, June 15, 1989, March 20, 1990, and April 12, 1991, at the Rayburn House Office Building, room 2154, raising $12 million for research. Her 30-minute documentary, Giving Care, Taking Care, released November 10, 1992, on PBS, bared the disease's toll. Her tears falling as she recounted Elsa's final words on April 3, 1992. "I'm lost. Honey." The film reached 2 million viewers, sparking 10,000 calls to the Alzheimer's Association hotline within a week. She opened the CSU Northridge Alzheimer's Center at 18111 Nordhoff Street on October 5, 2000, cutting a ribbon with hands still weak from surgery, her voice trembling as she dedicated it to Elsa. After her transplant, she spoke at the American Liver Foundation's gala on May 15, 2003, at the Beverly Hilton's Grand Ballroom, and 12 other events through 2005, emphasizing that one donor can save 50 lives. She shared the terror of waiting, waking at 4 a.m., too weak to reach for a glass of water, her throat parched, and her gratitude for her donor, honored annually on October 23rd with a private candlelit vigil at home. A single white rose on her nightstand. On January 10, 2020, at 76, Shelley debuted a vibrant pink, punk-inspired hairstyle, trademarked on April 10, 1999, died at Salon Republic, 1357 North Highland Avenue, Studio City, the ammonia scent sharp as she smiled in the mirror. On October 15, 2024, at 7:45 p.m., an ischemic stroke struck, causing weakness in her right arm and confusion, landing her in a private Brentwood clinic at 11777 San Vicente Boulevard, room 312. By January 10, 2025, she recovered fully, completing 20 physical therapy sessions at Cedars-Sinai's Outpatient Rehabilitation Center, crediting Mike, her husband of 41 years, for reading her Emily Dickinson poems during recovery, his voice steadying her. On July 26, 2025, at 4 p.m., they strolled through Burbank's Chandler Bikeway, Shelley's pink-streaked hair glinting, her peace sign defiant despite her 110-pound frame. Mike's Make America Normal Again hat, bought at a Pasadena flea market on March 2, 2025, for 15s, drew chuckles from joggers, a rare public moment for a couple who weathered Hollywood's tempests. Shelley Fabares faced poverty, illness, and loss, yet her spirit burns like a lighthouse in a hurricane. Her story is a clarion call to find strength in our darkest trials, to cling to hope when all seems lost. Subscribe now to join us in celebrating stories of courage, where the human spirit shines eternal against life's fiercest storms.